Welcome to the 700 Club. Walter Wang is the CEO of the world's largest manufacturer of plastic pipe. He's a billionaire who places a premium on giving.
And now he wants to make an even bigger impact. Mark Martin has his inspiring story.
To most, Walter Wang has appeared to live a charmed life. A successful CEO, Wang grew up under the leadership of his father, the late Wang Yongqing, who was the founder of Formosa Plastics in Taiwan and one of the world's richest men. Walter Wang also grew up in a Christian home.
But he was a U.S. missionary that traveled to Taiwan to spread God's gospel, and my grandfather received.
The family eventually immigrated to California, where their success in business continued. However, 5 years ago, their world took a major hit. Doctors diagnosed Wang with a rare form of nasal cancer.
It's a 4th stage because the cancer has already spread to the skull base.
He underwent hours of chemotherapy and radiation treatment, but it was after advice from a Christian friend and an encounter with the Holy Spirit that true healing began to take place. The friend asked him if he was dealing with unforgiveness.
And he said, you know, Walter, Jesus came to forgive each and every one of us. God's character is love, so therefore he forgave. He sent his begotten Son, and he died for us on the cross. So if you're going against God's heart and character, you will never get healing. You'll never receive healing.
Wang wrote down names of people he needed to forgive, and then forgave them once and for all.
It was a miracle after that. We were praying in a small room. It was me, his friend Richard, and my wife. And I felt this warmth just injected from my head all the way to my toes. Then I couldn't control this wild laughter. After 10 minutes of laughter nonstop, I felt this burden that is like locked up in my heart for maybe years, decades, gone. Release, just release and gone.
I guess laughter is the best medicine. God knows what is best for him. And, he became a changed man.
After 5 months of treatment, Walter says God healed him.
God allowed me to go through this trial and tribulation because he has a bigger calling for me.
Being the CEO of the world's largest manufacturer of plastic pipe may sound like all business to you, but for Walter Wang, it's so much more. In fact, he says his work is a divine calling.
When you think about it, pipe brings the essence of life to people.
J.M. Eagle has donated miles and miles of pipe to bring clean water to villages all over the world, including many in Africa, to fight against illness and poverty.
Africa is not water deficient. It's infrastructure deficient.
In other words, there are clean water sources in Africa, but limited ways to get that water to people who need it. One of the countries to benefit from this generosity is Senegal. J.M. Eagle supplied 70 miles of plastic pipe to transport water to dozens of villages in the African country, helping more than 13,000 people. Hundreds of public water taps are now available to villagers, eliminating the need for women and children to walk for hours to a contaminated water source.
You turn on the water, water comes out. 30-second walk.
This year, Wang's company shipped another 200 miles of pipe to 7 other African countries. When the projects are complete, around 150,000 people will have access to clean water. Wang says his parents instilled in him early on the biblical principle of giving.
Always do good for others, and that good ultimately will come back to yourself.
As his company continues to grow, Wang believes God has placed him in his leadership position to not just pipe in physical water to people. He says God is using him to funnel in living water to communities by sharing the gospel and telling others about God's miraculous power.
After this last 4 years, I have been going all over the world to give my testimony. That is living water. It flows.
Living water which has brought about healings in others and conversions to Christianity. Wang's wife, Shirley, a former Buddhist, accepted Christ after witnessing the power of God transform her husband.
At the end of the day, it is faith. It is the faith to carry on, and it's faith that Walter will get healed, faith that I walk out that door and I won't get hit by a bus, faith that, things will be well.
Like Jesus said in John 10:10, the cup overflows. I think God's gift for us, that cup that gives overflow every day. So we just have to know how to find it.
Mark Martin, CBN News, Los Angeles.